Hey everybody. Welcome to another episode of Hymns of the Heretics, a Cult Divinity Lost um campaign. I remind players and audience alike that this game may have some uh mature content and to just be be mindful of that. Some of it may be um, upsetting to folks, um, as can happen with like the horror genre. All right, so we are uh, in the middle of making sure that all of our players have updated sheets for their character advancement. Everyone earned a point of character advancement at the end of last session. Um, I'm gonna go player character by player character. I see Cole, you've added a advancement, right?
Mm-hmm. Advantage, yeah.
Um, yeah, your advantage. Freya
I was soul +1 to soul, so I think now
plus
I'm +2.
one to soul. You're now plus two. Okay, looks good. Oh shit. James K. I see you have your advantage.
Yep.
Josh Grant. Oh, Josh Grant. What advantage would you like to take? Zach, if you're muted, you're muted. Oh, okay. Well, plus one to violence. You are maxed out on violence, so I think that's with your advancement, right? I'm gonna assume yes. That looks right. All right, Marsha, you were taking an increase to charisma.
Yes,
Okay.
already updated.
Okay, perfect. And Willow taking imposter.
Correct.
It's not creepy.
No, not at all.
All right. So, big special thanks and shout out to the developers of the Foundry Cult system for making it a lot easier to maintain our sheets. And all right, so let's kind of get back into the beats of the story. Last night, or sort of like the last moment that we ended with was Josh Grant in a tent out behind the young residents, um, kind of ready um, to sleep, uh, or to go to bed. Maybe not necessarily sleep. Um, after kind of a pretty eventful week. Uh, and a quiet Sunday evening after church. Before we wrap up Sunday, there was one kind of story beat with Cole and Willow, right?
Mhm.
Where the two of you were not where the two of you were going to consult with the kind of the most senior church official.
Mm-hmm. So we picked up the baby, and Jenny is coming with
I'll hop in the dad van.
up in the dad van.
Are you picking up the journals?
Boy,
I would vote no.
you would vote no?
Yeah, because I
Why don't we bring? God, tell me
Flip.
why.
because I feel like they're just gonna confiscate them.
Well, we have
So
a bunch
like
of journals. We could only we could. What if we just give one or bring one,
that's a good idea. Yeah, so at least they have something to look at.
right? Okay.
All right. So you throw your baby into the SUV,
Mm-hmm.
the dad van, and Jenny is there looking concerned. Um, and then you drive back out to the site of your kind of disturbing bit. I mean, you're thinking about it, or we kind of thought about it as a vision, but that event
Mm-hmm.
in the state park, you dig up the journals.
Yep.
Okay.
Apprehensively so. But
Just one.
yeah.
I might just pick one out and put the rest away.
Okay. So it's getting later and later in the evening. It's pretty much nighttime now. And you drive to Isaiah's house. It's the home is kind of like this, nestled into this sprawling Texas suburban subdivision, a horror of its, own kind.
Mm-hmm.
And you meander through the streets in the dad van until you come upon the mansion that all of you are probably somewhat familiar with. Um, you know, Brochures often have um, Isaiah and his wife Eugen kind of posing in front of their house.
Mm.
Um, well, it's like an expensive car that a fancy pants pastor could own.
Like a Rolls Royce.
Yeah, let's say there's a Rolls Royce parked in the driveway.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, right. When did we get to live like that?
I kind of could see Willow saying that out loud.
Oh yeah, absolutely he did. Or they did.
Oh, okay.
It would turn Cole off. My God, so ostentatious,
Mm.
so worldly.
Oh yeah, for sure.
What do you do?
What time is it again?
Let's say it's like 8 p.m.
Oh boy. Okay. So I guess the four of us would go to the door. I'd knock on the door.
Yeah. Just roll up and blow the horn really loud.
Ah,
Do you want to try that?
No, absolutely not.
no.
Okay. Um, the door is answered by Eugen, who is somewhat familiar with the both of you. I mean, you've been in the church your whole lives, and recently Willow's been in the spotlight.
Hmm.
Oh, what are the two of you doing here so late?
I would just say, so sorry to bother you. But we'd like a moment. We have a kind of a spiritual emergency.
Oh, and it's something that uh couldn't be taken care of by one of the other pastors.
No, this is something that Willow and I strongly feel like the church elders really need to hear about as soon as possible.
Hmm. Okay, well, Isaiah has been um enwrapped in prayer. Let me see if I can rouse him. Oh, you brought the baby too.
Mm-hmm. We're all here.
Aren't you just a peach?
Hmm. Oh, before I forget, Willow,
Oh.
roll your disadvantage.
Oh shit.
Oh god. Liar as a disadvantage does not fit with my archetype. Oh, but I'm okay. I'm okay.
You have kept your lies tangle free for now. Okay. So you are escorted into the the foyer. It's a big open entranceway into a big open living area. A lot of marble, gold trim, um, gaudy, cold. You can have a seat here on the couch, get comfortable. I'll go get Isaiah, okay?
Thank you. I would look to Jenny. How's she doing?
Jenny looks nervous. She's kind of like doing this hand wringing kind of.
Mhm.
Um,
I would just gently rub her shoulder.
she seems far away,
Okay.
you know? Um,
But not in a weird way.
no, just like this is really weird. Like
Okay.
this is a weird situation. And you know, when she shared a desire for the family to be more spiritual, this is probably not exactly what she meant.
Uh-oh.
Well, I mean, nobody means this, right?
Right, of course. Yeah.
So,
Nobody would take this on intentionally other than a really cruel GM. Yeah.
right. All right. So, a few minutes later, you see Isaiah, who's, you know, older, uh, white man, with kind of like a gray kind of bushy mustache, balding with like kind of like fully balding all the way back to the back part of his head with gray hair kind of around the sides of his head, the back of his head.
Hmm.
Um,
Like a tonsure.
like a what?
Oh, like the thing that monks have, a tonsure. They have the shaven middle part and there's hair around the.
Kinda. Well, here, let's look at
Less
the
refined, call it a cul-de-sac.
Okay.
Right. Let me see if I can. I think I have this picture on here. Here's the look.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah,
And
there he is.
he's wearing a kind of like a burgundy bathrobe, and the both of you are kind of like flooded with the smell of like myrrh. I don't know if the two of you in character would be that familiar with it, with that smell.
Probably not.
Probably
Okay,
not.
so it's like you smell like this floral incense, kind of musky kind of smell. That's kind of radiating from Isaiah, and he says, "All right, you three, what's going on here? Eugen said there's a spiritual emergency. Hmm?
Is there a place we could sit down for a moment and talk?
Is the living room not to your specifications?
It would be perfect, thank you.
We're here in the living room."
Okay, so I would sit down then.
You notice that Isaiah is not sitting. He's like looking at you expectantly.
Okay, then I'm gonna just start talking. I was trying to be polite, but I know it's hard when we're being rude. So anyway, I would say, well, you know that Willow and I, our grandfather had a sort of, well, out of character. Would the church have known that Grandpa was meddling with some weird stuff or not? Or was that completely a secret?
You don't know what the church knows or doesn't know.
Okay, okay. So Willow and I were looking through Dad's attic and came across some old journals written by our grandfather, and we found them to be very strange. And once we were interacting with them, and Willow, I'm leaving out the part about we had them since our childhood. I don't know if that's particularly important.
Yeah,
Um,
I think we
just to
catch
keep
that.
it simple, is that strange things have been happening. Um, and the strangest thing that happened just earlier today. Um, Willow and I were together. Willow, do you want to maybe give your take on this?
Yeah, so the journals were with Cole for a while. Um and he had an experience, and they made their way to me, and I had an experience, and together we
You're
thought it
being
might be better
very
to.
you're being very vague about this. What do you mean experience?
Well, I
Uh,
can't speak to Cole's experience, but for me, I saw my grandfather uh, essentially being tortured and hung, and that was quite traumatic.
and when I was holding the journal, hands came out of the journal and started choking me. And maybe I still have, do you think I might still have bruises, Shisho?
I think that they're probably quite faint. I don't think like if you showed your neck, it would be like this dramatic moment, but it's still
Yeah.
there for sure.
Then I would do that. I
Okay.
would show that, and I would say I feel like I was choked, but it was not my imagination because look here.
Hmm.
But that's not the worst of it.
Right.
Do you want to continue, Willow?
Yeah. So we decided to remove the journals from our homes, from our families, and we sought to bury them. And out of character, I don't mention where we buried them.
You good, good, yeah.
And as we were
Where
doing
did you bury
so,
them?
Maybe we shouldn't talk about that just yet.
Why not?
Yeah,
We're afraid. That's why we've come to you.
Afraid
they're
of
very
me?
dangerous.
Afraid of people getting hurt.
What the journalists might
Um,
do.
Because what we saw
Willow,
was
Willow, you need to tell me where you've buried them.
I can't do that at the moment,
Let's take a
but I would.
beat. Because
oh
you are a
gosh.
motherfucking liar, Willow.
Uh,
So many options to
Where'd you
lie.
bury them?
I feel terrible. I was like the whole time just like, this is the part where you say journal instead of journals and hand them the journal you have. That's all you had to do.
all right, what
Yeah,
do
we
I
kind
gotta
of fucked
do?
that up.
Well, that's a good point. We can kind of like rewind, and Willow, you should or could lie and say, this is the only journal we have.
Yes, do that, do that.
Yeah, let's do that. That sounds good.
It sounds fun.
Okay. Okay, so that's the one journal. All right.
Yep. No other journals. No mention
So
of anything else.
we tried to bury it, but
But as we did so, uh, we had a shared, not even a vision. It was very,
it was
very
real.
real of a demonic creature crawling out of the ground covered in blood, and but it wasn't demonic. It knew our prayers. It prayed with me.
It
It
claimed to be an
was
angel.
claimed to be an angel.
And
Well,
it talked to us. It talked to us.
Oh, my
what did
damn
it say to
hands.
you? Well,
You want
the the soldiers of Satan are known to uh, lie as easily as they breathe. Deceit is the mother tongue of the demonic, after all. It sounds like the two of you have had uh, quite a fright with all this.
I'm gonna repeat some of the words that it said to us.
Okay.
It said, "Your grandfather failed and now burns in the pit of hell for his failure." And he also said, "I serve the same God as you, and the end of days is upon us."
Well, uh, just as they can say lies, they can also say truths. It is true that the end of days is upon us.
The war between heaven and hell is upon us.
And that. At first, uh, hearing of this, it sounds like you've had an encounter with a powerful demon that is trying to deceive you. Let's take a look at this journal.
Mhm. And so I would hand it over.
Okay. Isaiah would look it over with curiosity. Um, if you want to read his reaction, you can make a move.
Oh yeah, let's see what we can do.
Definitely. Well, actually, no, I don't think it would work.
You don't
Um,
know if it would or work. It might work, whatever you're thinking.
So it's called Eye for Detail. I get
Okay.
to like read a person,
that's
but the
cool.
questions I don't think would be super relevant here.
You can do a custom question.
Okay, try that.
That's a really great success.
Wow.
Cool. So I want to ask, what are you working on, and No, I know. That's I'm thinking of the custom one. And like, what are your feelings, like your real feelings on the journal?
You, Willow, uh, with your very trained eye for social interaction, you notice that Culver doesn't look surprised or particularly shocked by the bizarre, disturbing contents of this journal. He seems to be very, like, cavalier about flipping through it.
Have you seen something like that before, Pastor?
Let me go to your next question before you
Yep.
ask a question in character. You can you suddenly recall, Willow, that some of your more like uh, lefty liberal colleagues and students have talked about and used myrrh as a burning incense. This is not something that's used um, at the church at all, ever. Um, and you know that whatever he was doing before he saw you, he was burning a lot of that incense, enough for it to kind of like permeate him.
Would we understand why that might be used?
Would you?
Um,
It has nothing to do with church.
some sort
That you
of,
know,
it has nothing to do with church.
not your church.
Okay, so that's helpful. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Um,
So far, only Willow knows this.
mhm. May I also try to read a person? I have the intuitive advantage, which gives me the ability to ask an additional question when I'm trying to read a person.
Yeah, go for it.
So do I roll the advantage or do I roll the read a person? Like, how does that work?
I think I added it to your read a person. Try rolling read a person.
Okay.
There you go.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. You can sense people's motives through subconscious readings of their body language, word choices, and behavior. Um, okay, I'm going to ask you, Shisho, is Isaiah lying
About.
about what he's told us about what he suspects about the journal?
Yes.
Ooh,
There you go.
so
Did you want to ask anything else?
yeah, I'm just writing this down. Okay. Can you suggest a question? I'm having trouble with the last question. I could.
You have
How
two
can
more.
I have two more? That's right. Um, how do you feel right now about Isaiah?
You detect that Isaiah feels a curiosity, a hunger for more information, more knowledge, and like a tinge of suspicion.
How could I get you to tell me what you're using the myrrh for?
you get the idea, Cole, that you are likely not you specifically are not likely to get very far asking him, to kind of reveal things that are hidden, because you are not a trusted member of the inner circle.
Mm-hmm.
But from everything that's been happening, you imagine that it's possible that Willow might be able to
Mm.
kind of press in and make themselves more like a more uh they're either more trusted now or could become more trusted.
Okay. Okay.
And I will posit to you, how do you think that someone can make themselves more trusted to your Pope?
Be more pious.
You okay. So do you want okay, let me go back to Willow. Willow, you had a question that you wanted
Yes.
to ask. Okay.
So based on the eye for detail and Isaiah not being surprised, I want to ask him if he's seen something similar to this before, because he does
Right.
not seem to be thrown by it at all.
Willow, in my time as patriarch and prophet of this congregation, I have seen things that would make any man's spine uh, quake with a chill. There's great darkness that there is great darkness that we must face in our pursuit of Christ's undying and eternal radiance. Cole, you and Jenny wait here with the baby. Willow, come with me into my library.
Whatever you think is best.
Cole, do you react?
Um, no, I would
Okay.
react by doing what Isaiah says. I don't want to mess up the chance of him revealing something to Willow.
Okay.
As I'm walking away, I'm just gonna like shoot a look towards Cole, like, don't worry, I'll fill you in.
Great.
So you're led into a library space. It's not massive. It's just a medium-sized room inside the McMansion that is this home. Um, and there's like uh bookshelves lining each of the four walls and some lamps and a couches, a table. Um, the smell of myrrh is stronger here, and you see a little tray with it smoking.
It's an interesting incense, Pastor. Is that for the church?
This way of devotion is much older than the bastard churches that have populated this continent.
What?
As of today, you are now inducted into a deeper and more knowledgeable group of us here in the congregation. You must not speak any of this to your brother Cole, as you may endanger his salvation and your own. Do you understand?
Of course, anything that we say is completely confidential.
Remember, the church may not be able to surveil your every word, your every movement, but God and the Holy Spirit are everywhere at all times.
They will always know.
The Culver takes the journal, spreads it out on the table, relights the incense, which lets out these like billowing, oily, scented white coils of smoke. And you see the pastor start to kind of invisibly draw on to the pages with his fingertips. At first, it looks like he's just kind of awkwardly petting the book in circles. But in moments, you see words sort of begin to appear.
Are they in English or?
I don't know if I want them to be in English at this exact moment. Let me think.
That's fair.
I think they are in English. They are hard to read. So you can see that there's like what was just sort of like a jumble, um, uh, a cluster has now kind of organized itself into lines of like English language writing, but it's hard to read, especially from like the distance that you are from the book. Let's say you're not like right with your head hanging over it as Isaiah is working with it. This text, Willow, is a heresy. According to this, your grandfather, an apostate, left the church to follow the ramblings uh, of a young con man called Refugio
Oh,
Robledo.
oh no. I love that.
And I'm certain that charlatan put some kind of demonic oppression upon your grandfather in this text. Uh, these heretics believed, or believe, I don't know, that they believe the disgusting lie that Christ and Native Americans had the same religion or some such nonsense. I hope you understand that I can't let you have this back.
Of course, it seems incredibly dangerous. Um, However, can I use my seducer advantage to try to get it back?
Fuck yeah.
Seducer. What?
Beautiful success.
Whoa.
Excellence. I want to do the give me something that I want and take the
Okay.
journal back from him.
Okay, now you have to role play how you do that.
Absolutely. Um, I understand how dangerous this is, and I know that it can't be revealed to anyone, even Cole. However, I do think that it is the property of my grandfather, and it would be better in my hands at the moment.
You gotta give me something better than that. You gotta work for it.
Do you want? Do you want an idea?
That
Back rub?
Do you want? Wait. Do you want an idea?
Shoulder massage.
I got an angle.
All right,
You
go
can
for
say
it.
now that you've just inducted me into this closer portion of the church, I should be able to be entrusted with what I've already suffered, so no other people have to.
Let's go with that.
how will you deliver that, Willow?
He said that.
I think I would take a moment and again say, like, I know how important this is, and I think that knowing how important this is, that it would be wise of you to entrust it to me as a test to make sure that I can keep important, crucial, forbidden knowledge out of the hands of innocents.
Well, that is definitely not what I was expecting to hear. Um, I know that in the years before you and your brother Cole have become distant, I've noticed that as he moved away, formed a family, returned. Normally, that would be quite sad. But in your case, I recognize that having such a brother can be a burden. It feels cruel to test you this way, but it is often through great pressure that we purify ourselves for the Lord. Uh, if I ever find out that Cole ever had access to this book or to more information than uh, should be availed to him, it would really put your salvation and his in danger.
Of course, and salvation is of the utmost importance. Is I thank you for trusting me with this, but the material plane is the material plane. It's endangering anybody's salvation is not what I have in mind here.
He gives you a packet of myrrh, which is like it looks like little kind of yellow white stones, um, kind of cracked and powdery, and a little small like metal tray where you can put a coal and burn it.
Hmm.
Um, use this to um, seal away its unclean uh, energies. Uh, you should destroy it uh, whenever you are whenever the myrrh burns away. Do you understand?
Yes. How long does the myrrh last?
Shouldn't be more than a couple hours.
Got it. And then can I use one of the seducer things? I want
Mhm.
to ask him to reveal a secret, and I'm going to ask him, what is the purpose of the myrrh? What does this mean to our religion?
You will learn more soon enough. You'll receive an invitation to uh, one of our Bible studies. But uh, the most important thing to take away from here is that when Jesus Christ walked the earth, he gave us rituals that have been for many centuries forgotten. Sacred knowledge that, due to the influence of the devil, has been suppressed. And, uh, with the coming of our prophet, so many decades past, have been rightfully returned to us. The burning of the myrrh to entrap a malignant spirit is uh, one such uh, sacred ritual. Uh, you will learn others and other ways that uh, the first disciples of Christ dealt with unclean and destructive spiritual forces.
Are you dealing with a malignant, unclean spirit, Pastor? Not your spirit, of course, but a spirit.
Right now, we are all engaged in the battle for the apocalypse. It's time for all of you to go.
Of course. I thank you again for trusting me.
Don't disappoint me, Willow. I have great expectations for you.
Thank you again very much. I'll go back into the living room and just be like, all right, let's go. Come on.
Okay.
Thank you, Jin. Isaiah, thank you. Thank you so much for hosting us and for everything we discussed. And then just be like, go, 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 go.
Eugen gives all of you a very suspicious look, but kind of nods meekly. All right, Cole, you and Jenny grab your kid and get the fuck out.
Yeah, as soon as possible.
Okay, so now you survived your encounter with the high patriarch of your church. Congratulations.
We did a thing.
We did a thing. We found out lots of good stuff.
Mm-mm.
All right, so on the drive home, Willow, are you spilling the beans to both Cole and Jenny?
Absolutely not. So I'm gonna be very, very quiet in the car ride. And when they ask him, I'm just gonna say, he told me that the journals were malicious, and he gave me a few ingredients to keep that at bay. But eventually, we will have to destroy the journal, and then I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. I feel so much better, Jenny, that we talked to Isaiah. Don't you?
Well, I hate to say this. I fear it improper, but I kind of wish we had gotten to go in there too and learn more. Like you
Yeah.
did, Willow.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure. And I think under different circumstances, we would have. But really, we really didn't go into too much detail. He did something I didn't understand to gain more knowledge about the book, and then sent me on my way.
Oh man, Cody, you're gonna have a lot of trouble keeping up with all of your lies.
You know?
You should write them down, dude.
No, don't write them down.
Oh,
It's
So
funnier
they
if I
can be
don't.
found.
Okay.
Uh,
So, the two of you head back. Um, do we want to? Okay, so you both head back. Before everybody goes their own way, um, Cole and Willow, are you going to exchange notes tonight out of Jenny's earshot?
I'd like to because Cole would be very curious what all happened in there. Um,
So how are you going to ditch Jenny?
um, well, when Jenny is taking Kaylee inside, I would say I'll just walk Willow out to, or actually I'll
Okay,
drive, I'm going to drive Willow home
There you go. Yep.
because I don't think Willow had a car here.
crafty. All right. So you deceive your wife.
What? I'm just driving her home. I need to drive him home anyway.
Oh, okay.
There's no deception there.
Okay. Not yet.
Kind of a weekly occurrence with
A lie by omission is still a lie.
So you get into the
Says
dad
you.
van. You put you've got Willow in there.
hmm And I would be like, wow, I feel like we learned some interesting stuff. What happened when he talked to you?
So, um, I've been inducted into a deeper level of the church. I don't really know what that means. I didn't get a whole lot of information about that. Uh, what Isaiah said was true, or what I said when I was talking to Jenny was true, that he gave me some myrrh,
Mhm.
and I was supposed to burn it over the book, and that he does want the book destroyed. And
Does so
I'm
does
gonna kind of leave out some of the things about the rituals of Christ and the first disciples and some of the deeper church knowledge.
does the MER provide protection against the journal?
It does, yes. It's a way of creating a barrier between
Okay.
you and a malignant spirit or a malicious spirit.
Mhm. And I would reveal that I was able to suss out that Isaiah was lying to us when he told us about what he suspects about the journal. And that he clearly is interested in learning more about it.
I don't know that I really got that from him. He wanted to keep the journal. Um, but I was able to wrestle it back from him.
Wow, good.
He told me that it was malicious and that it was heresy, but he didn't seem too shocked by it at all.
Okay, okay. Did he say anything about our grandfather?
He did. He said that he went off to left the church. He found another cult, or a cult, not another cult, because this isn't a cult. Found another cult,
No.
and and some things happened there that I don't fully understand. But Isaiah thinks that the leader of that cult may have cursed our grandfather.
Oh boy. And Shisho, I suspect that Refuhio and God's lovely servants mean nothing to Willow, right?
I don't know. They wouldn't.
Right. Okay.
Be at best like a news story here or there or
But
something.
yeah, I
But
mean, if you decided to start Googling it, who knows what would come up.
we'd find out real quick.
Okay.
On your church provided phone.
Well, I mean, if you hadn't mentioned the name of the person who was the apostate con man, whatever. So, okay. Anyway.
Oh yeah, because that happened in the office. Yeah, I would say that a man named Refugio Robledo was involved at some point in that fiasco with our grandfather.
Okay. It's time for a burner phone.
Yeah.
It's
Welcome
time
to
for
the
a
Cool Kids.
cigarette after all that.
Welcome to
I
the
know,
Cool
right?
Kids Club with both of those.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. That was great. That was fun.
So you wrap it up, you go home, and oh, Cody, do you just destroy the book tonight?
No, I would
Okay.
burn the myrrh real slow, like as slow as I could to buy
Okay.
myself some time.
All right. It's the middle of the night. Josh, you are, or do you think you're awake at midnight?
I doubt it.
Okay. Uh, you, sleeping you is awakened by the sounds of heavy dragging footsteps outside of the tent.
I imagine Josh has a firearm. This is Texas.
Yeah, yeah, and you're part of the, prepper club.
Goddamn right. He pulls out a pistol and like peeks through the corner of the side of a tent to see if he can see movement.
You see long, spindly, gray, pallid legs. You see a bulbous body suspended on top of it. You see a creature like the one you saw before um, at Ethel's, but it looks different, like slightly differently shaped. It's covered in, and you can see this clearly, by the security lights and the, whatever moonlight or starlight. I mean, it's not like pitch black in this backyard. And you see it moving slowly but steadily towards the house.
Has it noticed me?
Doesn't seem like it.
Okay. And is it moving like it's trying to be quiet, or is it just on like a mission towards the house?
It's on a mission.
Um, Josh is uh, Josh is an idiot. He's going to open up the tent and shout at the creature, "Hey, uh, what do you want?" And like holds up the firearm pointed straight at it. Safety off.
You hear it kind of make a guttural, like, kind of confused gurgle, and it's kind of like lumpy body twists to aim its face at you. Its face is just, big, gross eyes and a gaping, razor toothed maw just imposed onto its bulbous form. It gurgles and growls, and it begins to gallop towards you. What would you like to do?
I am unloading most of that clip.
All right, go ahead and engage in combat.
Gosh, good luck.
Nice.
Beautiful. That is a robust um attack. Let me see. Your bullets blow like right through its body. It like perforates it, and this sort of like kind of stinking pus begins to pour out of the punctures that you've
Ooh.
created. It
Mm,
it
yummy.
stops like running towards you, but it's still moving towards you.
I
You can probably
imagine he like flicks the clip out of the gun, loads in another clip, and goes, "Well, if that's not going to work," puts it back into the holster, reaches into a tent, and pulls out a big bat. And he's just
okay.
like, "All right, I'll
Oh,
do it this way
go,
then." He goes to smash the thing in the face.
go.
Okay. Go ahead and engage in combat.
That one is
Oh,
a failure.
failure. So you can pay a price to get to cause some damage.
Oh yeah, he'll do that.
Okay, perfect. So you swing and you miss the face, but you manage to like as one of its like spindly kind of crab legs rises up to step forward, you your bat smashes into it and fractures it. It loses its balance and it falls forward. Its face is basically making contact with your face at this point.
Oh,
Roll
gross.
to avoid harm. To harm.
Partial success.
Okay. So we are going to say, okay, you avoid the worst of it. So you manage to not have your head sink into its like tooth hole, but you fall backwards and you're on your back in the grass, looking up at the starry sky. We'll take a beat. Marcia,
Sorry, did I take a wound or am I still good?
you have not taken a wound.
Fuck yeah, let's go.
Marcia, you are safe in your bed or in the guest room bed at the Young house, and you are like shocked awake by what you recognize immediately as gunshots. You are also a Texan. You know what gunshots sound like.
I would go to the window.
You witness that same type of kind of horrid, kind of chicken skin covered uh, creature kind of racing towards the tent, or kind of like moving towards the tent where Josh is sleeping. And then you see it kind of tumble forward.
Marcia is going to wake up the whole house. She's gonna run through the hallway screaming, "It's back! It's back! It's back! It's back!" And like try to run. Do I know where like the pastor's room is and stuff? 'Cause I'm
Sure, yeah,
trying
they
to
would have said,
find-
if you need anything, we're just right down here down the hall, kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna run towards that direction.
Okay. The pastor comes out. I don't know, is the pastor good looking? I can't remember. Let me see.
I thought they were.
Yeah. So let's say the pastor comes out, and we're gonna say he's like in his little tidy whities that he was sleeping in, and he comes running out of the room. What's going on?
I think Marsha would kind of be like breathing heavy and almost like can't speak because she's like,
Yeah.
"Is Josh in the backyard? That thing is back. You got to help him."
In a quick beat, the pastor runs back into his room and whips out a whole shotgun, and you see him racing down the stairs.
I would follow behind.
Okay. So the two of you kind of burst out the kitchen door out into the backyard, where the thing has kind of tumbled over on top of Josh. Josh, you feel the damp, greasy, elastic, bony bulk of this thing crushing you. It's not like injuring you, but it's kind of pinning you to the ground. You're muted if you're saying anything.
No, I haven't had a good thought.
Okay.
If it's pinning me to the ground, can I just try and roll out from under it?
Yeah, you can try to act under pressure.
Okay. Partial success.
Okay.
Oh.
You can stay where you are or roll out successfully and endure a wound.
He'll roll out successfully and take the shot.
Okay. You manage to like dislodge yourself from underneath the thing, but you're did anyone in this group have a thing about dislocation? No, right?
No.
Okay, your shoulder pops out of its socket. So roll to endure injury.
Um, how much harm did I suffer?
1.
Okay.
Okay. So
I have the
Go ahead.
advantage survival instinct.
Ooh, okay.
Whenever you suffer a serious or critical injury yet refuse to yield, roll plus violence. On a success, you may temporarily ignore the effects of the injury, but you will need treatment to stabilize them as soon as the time limit expires.
Gorgeous. Roll that ability.
Also a failure. Fuck yeah. I'm
Okay.
doing well.
So you like triumphantly. Well, you also have your new one, right? Eye for an eye.
I guess yeah, when you suffer a critical injury, I could name that to get a +2, so it's a partial success.
Yeah. Yeah. So try eye for an eye. See how that goes.
That's not it's a passive
Oh,
ability.
it's a
not an
passive.
active
So you
ability.
get. So you
But it depends on how you want to rule it, because whenever you suffer a serious injury, name the person you feel responsible. Does that count if this is the serious injury that's happening?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay,
I think,
then
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
It's just a passive +2 to all ongoing rolls, so that would change the survival instinct to a partial success of 11.
You ignore your injuries until the conflict is over. So you roll out, your shoulder pops out of your out of its socket, and you feel
Really
you
glad
know,
I have a handgun because my left arm is probably not moving, but I can still fight.
yeah, you feel intense, very overwhelming pain, but you are fighting through it. You're a survivor.
Yeah, you only need one hand to swing a bat.
You see from the door from the kitchen, light spills out onto the the lawn and the garden and the creature, and you see Marcia and Pastor Young standing in the doorway. Marcia, stay back. What the what is that thing?
I don't know, Pastor, but you better start praying for me. And he starts swinging again.
Oh shit. Okay. Roll to engage in combat. Beautiful.
Success.
You connect again. Where are you aiming?
I'm now knowing that it's hard to hit the face. I'm gonna start trying to cripple legs. So he's probably going to fracture another leg and like bash at a joint.
Another leg fractured. The pastor takes, not quite running, but taking massive steps out across the lawn, stops within range of the creature and fires once into it. It typically might have been able to gallop away or whatever, but whenever you but it can't, as you have crippled it. Um, the as when it gets hit from the blast, goo goes flying everywhere, and it stops moving.
If it stops moving, I imagine it like falls down and Josh is on the other side looking over its fallen body at Marsha and Pastor Young. Kind of like wobbles for a second, goes, "Yeah, that'll do it for me tonight." And then collapses forward, passes out.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Marsha, you see Josh, one hand, one arm limp, the other arm holding a bat kind of coated in monster goo, and you see him collapse.
I would run to his side and, try to shake him awake, although it probably wouldn't do anything.
He momentarily wakes up just from the horrible pain of like his dislocated
shaking
joint.
a dislocated shoulder. Oh my
Josh's scream like rings out throughout the neighborhood.
I'll wake a motherfucker up. Woo!
She would definitely let go. Pastor, call someone. Call an ambulance. He needs help.
Oh God.
It's like Glass in the Eye all over again. You try to help.
You see the pastor looking at the thing like kind of frozen in shock for a moment, and then he kind of shakes himself awake, or shakes himself kind of like back into the moment, snaps out of it, and this Gentiles should not be aware that we are dealing with something like this. Marsha and Josh, you probably know by now, you've been here at the church long enough that you know that a Gentile is basically anyone that's not a part of the church. This is not good. This will draw way too much attention to the church.
Josh needs help though, like immediate medical attention.
Okay, yes. He walks over to Josh. Is he bleeding?
Oh, I'm sorry, Josh. What's our going? Is it just dislocation?
Yeah, you look over his body and there's no laceration, there's no puncture, there's no blood, only the creature's goo. You do notice that you don't need to be like a trained medic to know that something's really wrong with his shoulder.
Okay. Then I would just say like I don't see any blood, but there's something wrong with his shoulder and he's in a lot of pain.
Okay. Okay, all right. Um. Okay, Marcia. Um. Okay, you call 911, and God, what's the name of the Oh, Milda. And Milda, the housekeeper, is like in her bunny slippers and robe. Uh, can you help me drag this uh into the house? The housekeeper looks like he just asked her to like drink a pint glass of piss. Like she's like looks like her eyes are saying, "No, I am absolutely not doing that."
Well, why don't we just take Josh into the house and leave
No
this?
one can see this here.
But are we
This,
in the backyard?
yeah,
They won't see it if we take Josh into the house.
yes, but the neighbors. Uh,
Turn off the lights back here.
okay, all right. He grabs. So, um, okay, Marcia, you and Milda take Josh inside. I'll deal with this. So he like pulls the creature up against the house. Um, it's big. It's like probably 9-10 feet tall and heavy. You know, several 100 pounds heavy, but he manages to shove and roll and pull it, and he cuts the lights in the back. um Meanwhile, he would have been said, call the police, or call the ambulance.
We'll go in the house and call them over.
Okay. The EMTs arrive, the police arrive. Um, it's a shame that Willow isn't here to help us, but what kind of lie would we cook up to tell the police?
Is this a multi-story house or is it a one-story house?
2 stories.
Okay, then I would have been like, maybe we should put him at the bottom of the steps and make it seem like he fell down the stairs. We're in a strange house. We've never stayed here before. It's our first night. And
I don't know, officer. If he just wouldn't talk back so much, he wouldn't fall down the stairs so often, you know?
Oh no.
Yikes.
let's just have him at the bottom of the stairs and make it seem like he fell down in the dark.
Okay. Yeah, the minister agrees. You all drag him. By the way, there's still that weird stuff kind of smeared on his skin and clothes. You put him on the bottom of the stairs.
Spa oil.
Spa oil.
Spa oil.
It's the shea butter and coconut cream, you know?
Ugh. And it kind of smells like rancid. It smells kind of like rancid, kind of like if you put BO in a pressure cooker for a few days. Like that's the smell of it.
It's
Uh,
aggressive exfoliation.
okay, that's a choice. So you put him at the bottom of the stairs, the EMTs come, there's police that kind of ask questions, but they see the authoritative, blue-eyed gaze of the minister, and the officer's brains just shut off, and he just says what he says, and they're like, all right, sure, That's the truth. And they don't even bother to interview Marsha, Nayeli, or Milda. Do you want to ride with or Ethel? Although Ethel is yeah, Ethel wants to ride with Josh um in the ambulance. Do you let her, Marsha?
Oh, yeah, I'm not gonna stop her.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is that Josh, they take you to the hospital. They pop your arm back into your shoulder. Hurts like hell, but now your wound is treated. And all the while, if you let her, Ethel is holding your hand and, well, yeah, you know what? She breaks the taboo on touching, and she's holding your hand and she's praying, and um, doing kind of like uh, prayer healing kind of, motions, and um, when you come to, she is, at your bedside, holding your hand, muttering a prayer.
I imagine his hand is more like open with hers on top of it.
Hmm.
So he kind of leaves it there, but doesn't like squeeze or anything, just leaves the hand open. And kind of coughs a little bit to get her attention before saying anything, so she stops the prayer.
Yeah, she kind of starts a little bit, looks up, and kind of, drops your hand, recalling the taboo on touching.
Sure.
Her eyes, look red. She hasn't, it's been kind of like a sleepless night. Oh, Josh, you're awake now.
Hmm. Fancy seeing you here. You been up all night?
Yeah, I couldn't just let them take you all alone here, and uh, you know, with no one around to take care of you, with these Gentile nurses.
I appreciate that. You see that creature outside pastures?
Yes, I did. I seen it.
It stayed down after I went down.
The pastor blew the heck out of it with a shotgun after you broke its legs.
That's all I need to hear. So, you staying the night here now?
Well, I guess so. I should probably take a nap now that I know you're all right. I've got there's so in your hospital room there's a little a little couch where she can kick off her shoes and take a nap.
Hmm. Okay.
Just until you get discharged.
I'm starting to feel a lot better, but hesitant to kind of test it too much. Looks at the arm in the sling.
Yeah, well, we will wait until the doctors say you can leave. Um, I don't know that I rightfully trust them fully, but I imagine they must know what they're talking about.
Very least, it's easier than making them mad.
That's right. It's frightening that we're not even safe around one of the most devout and pious families in all the congregation. It frightens me, Josh, in a way that I don't believe I've ever been frightened before.
I can understand that. That's a fear I grew up with. It's a fear that's always been in my family. I'm sorry I brought it to you. He kind of like chokes up a little.
Have you seen these things before?
I don't. Not these things, no. And it didn't look like it was after me this time, but I remember that look of fear in my mom's face. I imagine she was afraid of something just like that.
There must have been something special in you and your family, just like there's something special in Marcia.
Maybe. But I'm gonna make sure that something special don't hurt no one no more.
When you're well, we should, well, we should definitely talk to the I don't know. I mean, do you see it like her mind is sort of like uh more scattered than you've
Yeah.
ever really seen her? I
Yep.
think even in the past when these kind of fucky things have happened, there was like a Holy Spirit juice that kind of like kept her from like freaking out too much. But I think seeing what she saw today and seeing you um having to like pull out a firearm is a lot for her. And whatever thing activated the first time didn't activate this time, so that's also kind of hanging in the air.
Yeah. Plus, I imagine this happened like an hour or two ago at midnight. So, like, she's an old lady who's tired. Even if that juice was going, it's not going anymore.
Right.
So
You,
he's
yeah,
gonna
go.
like put up a hand to after she kind of stumbles to come up with what the next plan is and says,
Yeah.
"Why don't you lay down there on that couch? You close your eyes, and we can figure out a plan in the morning. We'll either go talk to the council, we'll go talk to the pastor, or we'll go back and check in on your house. But we'll figure that out when both of us wake. Okay, Ethel?"
All right. I think you're right about that, Josh. And she kind of like kind of wanders to the couch and uh like as the second she's like slightly horizontal, she's out.
Did they leave his phone near him?
Yeah, your phone is there with you.
He's gonna grab it and text Marcia, and all the text says it's just a question mark, and then sorry, U, like the letter U, and then GUD question mark.
Marsha would respond, I'm good. How are you feeling?
lowercase word phone question mark?
And she would say yes.
He calls her.
She wouldn't even say, "Hey, Josh." She'd be like, "Are you okay?"
I'm awake. Okay is a bit of a stretch, but I'm awake.
What? How? How did it hurt you? Like, what?
Nah, it's just a limb. This thing will be all right in a few days, if not sooner.
It was just oh my gosh, dislocated.
That's my guess, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I ain't talked to a doc yet. I just seen Ethel.
Is it following us? Is this creature?
Well, I don't think that creature's gonna be following us anymore, from what Ethel said.
What did Ethel say?
Pastor blew it up.
He did, but he didn't seem to know what it was either.
So you don't think he put it down?
I mean, I think he put it down, but he didn't seem to know what that creature was. Like, he kind of froze when he saw it. I don't know if they're going to be able to protect us and if we should stay here anymore.
I know what it's like to start running. Once you start, it's real hard to stop. You prepared for that?
But I don't know if running's going to get us anywhere. I mean, just for one night, we were somewhere else and it didn't matter.
That's true. Running further, running faster. But that sounds exhausting, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You suggesting maybe we figure out a way to fight back?
I'm not a fighter, but I want to talk to the pastor and get his take on it. They haven't talked to me since you left. So,
Okay. Well, when they discharge us, hopefully in the morning, maybe you could take my truck and pick us up.
yes. Just let me know what time you're being discharged and I'll be right there.
I appreciate that, Marcia. I'll let you know in the morning, but if you don't mind, I'm catch some more rest.
Yes, get some sleep. I'll be praying for you.
Appreciate it. He hangs up.
That was too real.
Thanks.
There was something unnerving about how real that was. Yeah. So, Marcia, you hang up, or Josh hangs up, and it's kind of like you're left with this huge like question mark, right? Like hanging over your head, like where's safe? What's next? Um, what do we do? And do you think you go back to sleep?
Oh, probably not at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Josh is exhausted.
Well, yeah, Josh is out.
Yeah.
Josh is probably physically not capable of staying up.
Painkillers, all that good.
Right. But Marcia is probably still adrenalized and like um so at night. Okay, so for the rest of the night, Marcia, how do you spend the rest of your night until dawn?
Probably that book that we're reading for book club that has the Book of Visions and whatnot. I'm probably flipping through
Yeah.
that, trying to see if there's anything similar to what just happened or mentions anything about creatures like that.
Yeah, so you read through, that's interesting. Let me see what move that you can do.
Observe it?
You can, I think investigate is good. Or you can do observe, whichever one you want.
Oh, that's for a person. Okay. I'll investigate.
Okay.
Success.
Beautiful success. So you can get two of these, and then I'll give you a little bit of a freebie too.
Okay, so I would ask the first one, how can I find out more about what I'm investigating?
Okay, and what's the second?
What is my gut feeling?
Okay, so let's start with your gut. So you are reading this book, and you know, although it's kind of hard to focus, and the language is kind of like uh kind of pretentious, it kind of sounds like the language of somebody that is trying to like make their writing seem like it's holy and important, and you kind of can clock that. But when you get to a section about the visions that this individual had, this uh one of the visions that stands out to you is very similar to the kind of demonic visions that you heard from one of the other people in that was kind of in your van when you were in the when Ethel had her vision too. Oh wait, no, you weren't with Ethel.
I
You
was
were
with Ethel.
with you were with Ethel. Okay. So you remember that the kind of like demonic one, um, he described a lot of kind of uh disturbingly weird creatures that were kind of being released from the inferno. And although the comparison is not one for one exactly like what you've witnessed, there is a similar like chaoticness about the way that they're shaped, about how they move, about what they look like. You it's not like seeing a devil, like a horned man with like bat wings. It's like these sort of bizarre mutated things that are described in the text and that are also described in that were also kind of described to you in that vision that you witnessed. Um, so you'd think that that there is more to learn about these things. One way would be to track back to your home church in your hometown,
Oh no.
because you recall that thing, the first iteration, mentioned your hometown when you saw it. Another way that you could find out more, I think you have an intuition that there's probably Like, okay, so when you're adding all of this together, like one of the things that strikes you about the minister's response is like you could tell he had never seen this thing before and it frightened him, but it is kind of weird that his reaction was like, okay, well, let's hide it. And that other, you know, it's going to draw attention to the church. You wonder if asking, you wonder if there are ways to learn more about this kind of creature, this kind of, you know, perhaps infernal thing. If there's a way to learn more in the church. You suspect that there is. But if you ask the right questions to the right people at the right time, that they'll know more than they're probably letting on.
Okay.
The night's not over yet. As the siblings Cole and Willow, and as Marcia um, and Josh and Ethel all kind of survive their own, you know, brushes with the supernatural. So does our dear friend James. James, you had a plan to make a visit
Mm-hmm.
in your dream. To be transparent, for character building reasons, we made a roll that resulted in a failure. So, James, let me see. Was it a full failure or was it a partial success? Oh,
It
full failure.
was a full failure, yeah.
Okay. So, okay. So we're going to say that you can, you know, I want to hear about your uh, connecting or connecting or visiting who you wanted to visit. And then once we wrap that up, then we'll see what happens next.
Sure. So I wanted to visit Freya, and the
Okay.
reason for that was to prove that I'm not crazy. So I imagine that I arrive, if I arrive at all in the dream space, um, I arrive in the pits and I go looking for her eye hole.
Yeah, I would say that you are able to find the right eyeball portal. And you know that if you jump in, you're certain it'll lead you to her.
I jump right in.
Freya, what are you dreaming about?
Um, so I feel like for Freya, she's dreaming about libraries because she's now obsessed with trying to find this hidden library somewhere in the church. So she just dreams about a library full of books, but every book she pulls is blank and there's no information in there. and she's just getting frustrated and pulling more and more books, and they're just ending up all over the floor in like a massive pile.
James, you enter Freya's dream. You see her, few aisles away, pulling books out of the shelf, opening them, they're blank, tossing them on the floor, the pile's getting bigger. What do you do?
I say her name and try to connect with her like I did at the end of the dream with Willow. Cutting right to the chase on this one, not to try and interrupt her privacy of her dreams.
She jumps a little bit. She's caught off guard, and she just looks over and she doesn't realize this is a dream. To her, this is really happening. So she just starts talking. The books are empty.
Mm-hmm.
I found the library, but they're all empty. There's no information here.
He smiles, kind of leans down and picks up one of the open, empty books. Kind of coming to a bit of arrogance at this point. I think he would, since he knows he can shape the nature of dreams. Is this how Freddy Kruegers are made? He, he will like change the nature of the dreamscape so that the book he's holding has words in it, and it's like details about what she gave him during the cafe meeting. You found it all, Freya. We already talked about it. This is just, you're not sure yet. You don't know what you found, and you don't know where to keep looking. It's just your subconscious talking to you, I think. It's okay.
Her face kind of scrunches up, and what do you mean we talked about this before? That I don't understand.
It's okay. It'll all make sense in the morning. And I am going to say, well, when I left with Willow, I left with Willow, like out of the dream, right?
You were able to kind of pull Willow through the dreamscape, but you can't bring a person with you back into like the portal
Oh, to
area.
show Willow the dreamscape.
You can
Okay.
show him. You can show
Freya, but
uh
I don't
yeah,
want
you can
to.
show an image, but you can't like really like drag someone through the
Right.
portals. Not
I can
really.
shape the dream space to look like the portals, but I can't
Yeah.
take them to the portals. So then I guess at this point I'd say this will all make sense in the morning. Don't worry. Just remember this dream as best you can, okay? And then I'm going to depart. I'm going to try and leave the dream because I've done what I needed to do. I don't want to stick around for longer because I don't know how like a sleeping mind affects the dreams. I know that Willow revealed a bit, and I just don't want to pry that deeply into Freya, I think.
Okay. You okay, so we'll take a beat. Willow, well, not Willow. Freya, you hear
Mhm.
you remember this dream, and like a bubble popping, suddenly you're
Yeah.
awake. And you vividly have this memory of a dream where James like came to you while you were in the library looking at these blank books, and he tells you, remember this dream.
Freya reaches for her phone instantly, kind of checks the time. It's late. There's no way James could be up. She thinks about calling, but then remembers her phone's kind of monitored.
Mhm.
It's okay, I don't think I'm picking
She
up.
looks quickly for like a pen and paper and starts writing down the details of what she could remember. Or actually,
Perfect.
won't, yeah, she won't want to put it in her phone.
Sure. Little dream journaling. Do you you note, take notes about your dream and then kind of try to go back to bed.
Yeah, but it's not going to work. She's just going to toss and turn all night at this point.
Yeah, fair enough. Um, James, you are in this uh dream space of the library, and as soon as uh Freya wakes up, she sort of like disappears from your vision, and the kind of vivid dream space kind of fades to gray, and you find yourself uh suspended in sort of this gray mist.
Um, I guess I'll try, like, just mentally try to shape it to the way I understand it so that I can leave it. The the same conduit I used to get out for realsies last time.
You what are you shaping it into?
So last time it was kind of me trying to think of any way I could of like alerting myself to this being a dream. So I guess for James it would probably be something that would shock him out of the falseness of the space.
Hmm.
So probably things like pinches or like loud noises, like cars going by or fire trucks going by, and then I think the other thing he would think of to just to kind of create a world where he knows it's not real, is he'd think of his dad.
You have all of these like you have like this cacophony of sensory things happening, these pops and car backfiring and smoke alarm going off, phone ringing, and with like their accompanying sort of like pulses of like color and sensation, and it's not working. It's not snapping you out. Um, you're you're moving deeper in. This gift, this ability, um, you are starting to realize is not like it's not like loading a typewriter.
Mm.
It's not like outlining an article. There is something deeply dangerous and inscrutable about swimming in this ocean that you hadn't really expected, apparently. Roll to keep it together as you realize that you're kind of in free fall.
Okay, keep it together.
Yes.
You grit your teeth. It's scary to be sure, but you are, your mind is this iron lockbox. You um manage not to give in to um the terror of it.
Can I
And yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, so I'm in this kind of open sea of gray, and I'm kind of
Hmm.
like becoming aware of like the weight of that and what
Hmm.
that means to be kind of lost in this and
Hmm.
not having easy access. I guess at this moment though, like since he feels himself kind of the weight of that kind of just horrifying feeling kind of over consuming him, he takes a
Hmm.
moment to just kind of like look at the darkness. He wants to look back or look into the void and see if there's anything that he could detect. And so, yeah, I was kind of positing that something like this would happen if I failed,
Yeah.
which is why I went for the advantage enhanced awareness because I'm kind of being awakened to this position that I was never in before. So can I make a move to roll enhanced awareness to see if there's anything about this space that I can glean, like any kind of
Yeah,
knowledge I can acquire? Okay,
I would love nothing more than that.
I'm rolling. It's a failure.
This is what I was praying for.
This is everything I wanted.
Praying for the
You looked into
failure.
the void and it looked back.
So you feel like uh, a film, right? I mean, even like the concept of looking into the void is sort of like meaningless in this space because as you try to kind of like quote unquote look for your eyes, you all of your senses become um engaged in this communication with the void, what you are coming to label the void, or what we're labeling as the void in this like kind of meta conversation.
Mhm.
And James feels this like film, um like like uh like the surface of a bubble, but elastic and suffocating. And that membrane, you feel it snap like the skin on a hot dog when you bite into
Ugh.
it. And you are flooded with like sensations of power, ecstasy, freedom, and you are like kind of seeing beyond the veil for the first time. And you, in this moment, have this realization that behind everything in your life, there is a hidden truth. There is, there are intelligences and entities moving about behind this membrane in every facet of your life and the life of everyone that has ever existed. And um, that's another terrifying moment for you, James. So roll to keep it together.
Okay.
Partial success. You can take a stability damage and gain a feeling.
This is the first time I've ever taken damage. How does that work?
So on your sheet, you see stability, and
um,
there's a plus and a minus. You can click the minus to take one damage.
under.
If you choose to, you could also become obsessed, but there's nothing really
No, I think
specific.
I've already played a character who wanted to stay in bed all the time in a game like this, so I'm gonna go ahead
Mhm.
and not be obsessed with dream spaces.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Stability 1. So
Okay. What?
uneasy is what I'm at now, right?
Yeah. And you also pick a feeling
Feelings
from the
are.
list.
Oh, got it. Um. Ooh. I really want to put the ball in your court since I know you don't have any like backpiled moves against me because I'm so awesome at rolling dice. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
go ahead and do that last one. I want to be haunted by this experience at a later time.
I'll take it. Thank you for that beautiful gift.
Yeah, if it was more closely tied to Freya, it'd be guilt ridden. Yeah, he's scared, but I think it's more of a depression, and kind of goes along with his disadvantage, right?
Right.
I mean,
So you have that like what do you call it? Oh my God, what is that movie? With the obelisk? in space.
2000,
And
2001 Space Odyssey.
2001.
yeah, you have the 2001 Space Odyssey kind of like
Jupiter thing.
psychedelic trip or whatever, like embryo and the nebula kind of moment.
Space baby. I
And
got you. I'm with you.
right. And and you feel yourself kind of like rocketing through space and time, and for a split second you catch, like, you feel yourself catching the attention of something or someone, and you feel yourself suddenly looking into these brown eyes of an older man, and as there's like beat moments, like beats, you see kind of wrinkles around the eyes, um bushy eyebrows, balding hairline, gray hair.
Have I ever seen this man hanging in a locker room?
No, you've seen him ministering at your church.
Oh, this is those bushy eyebrows. Okay.
This is the High Patriarch Isaiah Culver.
Cool.
And you see a look of confusion, curiosity, and then you feel yourself kind of like whooshing away back through the space baby nebula and back into your body. So,
yeah,
you are going to go ahead and roll your harassed and your depression disadvantage now.
Great, cool, awesome. Partial success on harassed and failure on depression. That sounds about right. Glad I rolled in that order.
So I am going to keep that hold for harassed.
Of course.
And then you succumb to the hopelessness and blame. So take an additional 2 stability damage.
So I am currently shaken.
You may regain that stability when you numb your depression with drugs or alcohol.
Well, I was gonna. That's really funny. You should mention that. I was going to do that.
That was the plan.
Literally, right when you said, "Will you wake up?" I was going to be like, "Well, smokes these cigarettes, these drinks, these the bodily times," because that's what I would do in real life.
Yeah, it's 7 a.m.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
You wake up. You've got all of these kind of bizarre realizations, right? It's like you hit the DMT or whatever.
Yeah.
Or the ayahuasca, and now you are kind of back, but instead of having that like glowing, post psychedelic feeling, you feel a little hollow, a little shaken. You enjoy a cigarette as you wake up, and then
and drink. I'll make a pot of coffee, or actually, I'll probably just heat up the pot of coffee that's there from yesterday,
Yes.
and I'll pour alcohol in it and drink it. James is a single living guy, okay?
That's vile.
He's gonna drink. He's gonna get every ounce of dollar he got for that coffee there.
Okay, so coffee and a cigarette?
Coffee, alcohol in the coffee, cigarette.
Alcohol in the coffee. All right. You catch a buzz and you can restore your stability damage until you sober up. Then it'll come back.
So do I all of it or just
+2?
Okay, 1, 2. So I'm back to uneasy.
Mm-hmm. So as long as you keep nursing that buzz, you can remain uneasy for today.
Yeah. Okay. So it's Monday. I probably was gonna do something like this anyway. So.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yikes. Dark. Very dark.
Also, I can heal stability damage, but I have to seduce you to do it.
Yeah,
So
that's fine. We could do that. But I do want to post something real quick that I noticed in the chat that I kind of want to. What? What the fuck? Anyway, I'm scared. There's so many people watching me. I'm scared. If that was what
Oh
Willow
wait,
clicked.
Willow?
Yeah, Willow clicked the Dreamer perk. I'm like, what? What the fuck? What the
That's weird.
what happened?
No, I don't think Willow
Oh,
has
okay.
Dreamer.
Willow doesn't have Dreamer. Okay,
No. Mm-mm.
I was like, oh no,
It may
Padawan
have been
learner.
in the new menus that are available.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, so I was just scared a little bit there because I was like, oh.
Oh, I mean, is it Willow you
Always
should be afraid
watching.
of?
Well, especially after their last scene. Yeah, a bit.
Fair.
But I'm gonna guess that Isaiah moment was pretty like real, right?
You are able to glean that that felt different from a lot of the other stuff. It didn't feel like, a sensation. It felt like he saw you.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and start the morning off after getting to a nice state of not sober. I'm gonna call Freya on the church phone.
Freya picks up pretty quickly. She is already up. She's given up on sleep far long ago. I saw you.
Hey, hey,
She doesn't
hey,
even
hey,
bother
hey,
saying
hey,
hi.
hey. She just starts talking over you like immediately. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, that cafe we went to yesterday. They had great fish. Let's go back. I'll see you there in about 30 minutes. And then I just wait a beat.
Uh, yeah,
Okay, see you
sure.
there. Click. I take another shot of alcohol. I think my blood alcohol content is not super high, probably somewhere like a 0.03 or something, right?
Are you drinking and driving?
I'm in Texas.
What does that have to do with drinking and
I
driving?
mean, I just assume most people do. I don't know how they
Oh
survive
my God,
otherwise. I'm gonna go ahead and get into
that's
my car.
crazy.
So we're texting and driving and drinking and driving in this game.
Yep. I'm hoping I
Um,
have a vision and flip this thing.
okay,
Bunch of
let's
degenerates.
let's take a beat.
Sure. Don't do that at home, kids.
Freya, you probably expected that conversation to go differently than it did. You can
Yes.
tell, you can tell James is drunk.
Mm. She's I don't know how much she's knows that he maybe drinks like that. I feel like this would maybe be something that she's not super aware of or not hasn't really been on her radar.
Yeah, I think he's been a lot more. He's held it together better. You've never seen him like this, for sure, or heard him like this.
Puts her a little bit at unease. She's not sure what she's walking into.
Um, before we head to the diner for quote unquote fish sandwiches, Josh and Willow, both of you receive invitations via text message for what is referenced as the men's group. Oh, wait, no, not Willow. Uh,
James.
God Damn it, Willow. Why do you have to have non-binary gender? Okay.
I know,
So,
I know.
um,
But in the church, even if he was non-binary, wouldn't they ignore that?
well, yeah, but
Probably.
remember the church made a big ass deal about saying that non-binary is a thing,
Oh yeah.
and we approve of it, and like we like it now.
Well,
But I
they
feel like even as like an old habits die hard, like they would call it the men's group just without even
I don't
realizing.
want to put you in the men's group though.
That's fair.
Oh, I see.
Um, because
Oh
you're not a
god, is
man.
the Kult starting its own ND group?
That
Meeting was
would be
last
I'll
so
be
night.
in the
weird.
women's book club, the men's group, and the NB group.
So no, you are, as of now, the only queer or trans person that's like allowed to be that in the entire church,
I thought you were gonna say in
as far as
Texas.
anybody knows. In Texas, that's right. Okay. Let me get me back on my own rail. So Josh receives an invitation to the men's group. Willow, you receive an invitation to an individual meeting, or like we'll call it a pastoral counseling with Culver and with, one moment, and with so with Isaiah Culver and Hiram Cook. Those
I don't know
are
much about Hiram, do we?
not much about Hiram.
Cool last name.
All right. Yeah.
Um, the men's group meets on Thursday afternoons. Um, and includes all of the members of the council and other uh, men in the community. Okay.
Was I not invited?
So it's just yeah, I was just gonna say it's just
James James has not been invited,
and neither is Cole
and
or
neither
anyone.
is Cole.
Cole,
Cool,
please. They
cool.
don't want Cole.
That's fair.
Non-believers.
They want people who are either
Drinking the
faithful
Kool-Aid.
or who present the way that you're supposed to present.
I do that all the time. Besides showing up in, people's dreams.
uh, that's hilarious. Okay. So, uh, James, you and you heading to the diner?
Yeah.
What about Freya?
Yep.
All right. James, go ahead and with a situational modifier that's at the top of your sheet, you can set that to a -1. Roll act under pressure to drive without getting into a wreck.
Situational. I'm sorry, the sheet is. I see it. -1. And then, what was I rolling again?
Act
Act
under
under pressure.
pressure.
Got you. I succeed.
God damn
I
it.
do this all the time, baby.
Love that.
Actually, it's a
That's
-6.
disturbing.
Still good. Still good.
Okay, so you are like one of those people that's like, I drive better when I'm drunk, and it's true, apparently.
After last night, I think James is going to be one of those people who says I live better when I'm drunk.
Oh God.
That was
Okay.
rough.
So you make it to the
Diner.
diner.
She probably gets there before me, right?
Freya,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, yeah, probably. Well, you're probably driving kind of fast, right?
Yeah, but
Since
she
you're
lives right there. It would be in the college town, remember?
Oh, right, right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Freya, you snag a table for the two of you.
Hmm. And she orders her food already. Yeah, she just wants something to do, something to just pass the time.
Okay. What does she order?
Um, let's see, it's morning, so probably something simple, just like toast and scrambled eggs with some orange juice. Like she doesn't have much of an appetite. She's just kind of forcing herself to eat.
Got it. All right. Your buddy James walks in.
Sit across from her.
Freya, you can smell what liquor, what alcohol have
It's the
you
same
been?
same bottle that I pulled out, the special whiskey bottle.
Okay.
It's the only alcohol he has on him in his
y-
house.
Okay.
And
Uh, well, let me
go ahead.
take a beat. Freya, you immediately smell alcohol on him.
And he's wearing the same clothes he was wearing yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Okay.
Freya's like,
Yeah, Freya looks confused and concerned. She definitely waves him over, but she does so a bit hesitantly, like
He kind of raises his hand
this
up
this
and says, "It's worse than it looks, I'm sure. Um, look, I heard what you said. I was trying to talk over you intentionally, church phones and all that, especially after what happened last night. You got the message?" He smiles.
Yes, I got your little message.
Great.
And you better not be poking around my dreams constantly now. Like this is an invasion of privacy.
I'm pretty sure that my burgeoning paranoia will be at the foot of things that my desires to not pry into your dreams, the first thing of many that will be laid at the feet of that desire not to invade your privacy, Freya. We had our moment in the dream. I'm relatively new to this, maybe a little bit arrogant, probably really stupid, and I shouldn't have done it. I'm sorry. So sorry. And after I was finished and I sent you on your way, something something happened. And I don't know what it means yet. And I'm really trying to get through it. And I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Is the waiter or waitress like nearby?
yeah. So, the uh waitress with big Texas blonde hair. She's like ancient. Hey, hun,
I
what
love
what
her.
are you having?
He goes through the detail of describing a full English breakfast because he doesn't think that she knows what a full English breakfast is. I want beans. I want sausage. I want eggs. I want ham. I want all the everything. And when she came up and he was finishing that sentence, he's literally on the verge of crying. So like it kind of snaps him back into the moment for a bit, but there's definitely that kind of like look of being on the verge of kind of just bawling his eyes out.
Um, the waitress looks um pityingly at James. All right, hun, I'll see what we can whip up for you in the back.
Thanks so much.
Oh my God, when she brings out the beans, it's charro beans, not the British beans.
You know that's definitely gonna happen. Okay. So, you put in your order, you're telling Freya, like, I don't know what the fuck happened. Maybe I bit off more than I could chew. Do you mention you're coming face to face with the patriarch?
Well, I leave it there, right? I think James is at a state of being where he's not He's not. He's gonna tell her everything, but he's not like wanting to offer it right away. I guess is
Okay.
the state that he's in.
Okay. When your food arrives, it's pretty much everything you wanted, except instead of being like the Heinz baked beans, it's like a little bowl of like pinto beans with like chunks of pork skin, um, Mexican sausage, and jalapenos, like all stewed together.
It sounds good as fuck, but I do want to ask a question about the table.
Yeah,
Is there pancake syrup on the table, like as a, um, just like in a tray? Like,
I fucking hate this. This is the real horror.
Ah.
Yes, of course.
he
There's
pours it into
like,
the beans,
Oh,
and he starts stirring
uh,
it with his fork.
Why?
um,
You
did you
monster.
see the waitress
No,
like
I wait till she
drop?
leaves. I wait till she.
No, no.
No,
No,
fine.
you don't.
She
You,
saw it.
you don't get that
She saw it.
courtesy.
Everyone gets to see her.
She drops the tray on the ground, and there's like this like shattering sound. I mean, like this like clatter of sound throughout the entire restaurant, and everybody looks, and everybody sees you pouring syrup into your beans like a fucking freak.
So, like, I look at it and I kind of take a glance at it and kind of notice it, but then I focus back on Freya and like switch back into the conversation. Like, if she wants to say something, like obviously she's probably in horror too, but I'll also be like rolling the eggs around the sausages and just forking those two together and eating them all at once. He seems to be eating quite quickly.
The waitress flees.
She should.
Freya says in character, "You're like a fucking train wreck. I can't look away, but this is horrifying to watch."
He was in. He was in there. I don't know how much he saw, but he was there. Just starts kind of like shoveling the bean pancake syrup concoction into his face. Wipes his mouth clean after a couple of bites, and says, "Isaiah."
It was worse
What do
than
you
the
mean he
lipped
was
egg.
there?
This is worse than the lift egg. That. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I wasn't even trying.
Okay, so Freya says, "What do you mean?"
Oh, sorry. You caught me off guard with that. I left you. I sent you off in the dream space. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know how I do it. I just do it. When I left, everything I created there, everything you created there with your subconscious, disappeared into, I guess, just dream stuff. It happened with Willow when I did it with them, and I just thought to myself, okay, I gotta get out of here. So I thought about the things that I knew would make me disbelieve, like wake up, pain, loud noises, my dad, stuff like that, right? And then I felt the weight of everything in this space kind of grinding on me, just wearing me down. But it didn't hurt me. It didn't feel like it mattered. So I looked into it. I wanted to see what it was that was happening here. And when I started focusing, I looked past the dream space. I don't know how to describe it other than it was very different. And I kind of wish it was just that initial moment of discovery. Again and again and again, but after that fleeting but infinite moment passed, I felt like I was zipping around through everything. And he looked at me. And he could see me. Isaiah saw me, which means he was there. Or he has the same power as me. Which means that he could be... Do you remember in the dream last night? He stops for a second, looks around. Is there a no smoking sign anywhere in here?
Fuck yes. It's 2021.
Yeah, I know. The diner in town probably doesn't have that problem because they're not woke liberals. But
Oh my God.
he kind of just shakes his head and says, "Do you remember in the dream the books?"
Yes, but seeing people, seeing you, are you sure
Listen,
this isn't just,
no. He kind of reaches forward with his hand and kind of like tries to take, like, and place it on her hand or just place it in the middle of the table to just kind of like halt. When the books you made with your dream were there were no words. Do you remember when I made the book I was holding have words?
Yeah, but that's one dream. That's
No,
not the
stop,
same
stop.
as.
No, it's not the same, but it is the same because with Willow, I wanted to show them because I was experiencing it for the first time. I wanted to show them what I was experiencing, and I twisted their dream into what I wanted it to be. Don't you see? And so what I'm thinking is like, if I can do that to someone's dreams, and I'm doing it benevolently, right? I'm not trying to twist anybody's minds or make people, afraid of some coming thing. What if he's better at it than I am? What if he's been doing it longer?
Freya.
I fucked up, Freya.
mm, How I I don't think this was a fuck up. I just don't know what to make of it.
Yeah.
And why are you telling me all this while you're drunk off your ass, Well, not off your ass,
He,
but
he shakes his head.
you're drunk.
Drunk off my ass, and he kind of pulls his Coke that he ordered with the food, because of course he ordered a Coke with all that food. And then pulls a flask out of his jacket and pours it into the Coke, stirs it with a straw, and then just goes to, drinking it. I'm not drunk. This is measured. This is controlled. I'm fine. I drove here just fine. I didn't get any accidents. Kind of slurs.
You fucking drove here?
How the fuck did you think I'd get here?
No, I didn't expect you to be, I don't know,
Nobody's really on the
drunk
roads this
and
early anyways. It's fine.
oh my God, you could have killed someone. You could have killed yourself.
Yeah, and I could have killed you. If Isaiah knows that I'm meeting you in your dreams, like, what is he going to think about that?
Still don't know what to make of all this. Like, what? This sounds like some sci-fi fantasy religious bullshit. Like, are you sure you're not drinking the Kool-Aid with the rest of them?
Freya, what did the book say? I showed you the words you told me in the cafe. You saw me in the dream. I'm not lying to you. If I were trying to make up a fantasy novel, I would fail horribly at it because I was raised to write the news, not fiction. I am bad at making stuff up. You know that. You've known that since our childhood. Whenever we play, games, it was always something like tag or, hide and seek, which I sucked at because I couldn't, think of cool places to go. Because, when somebody did it, I would be like, wow, it's a really good place to hide. I never thought of that. And then when I'd hide there, obviously everybody knew I was there because I made such a big fucking deal about it. The point is no, I'm not making this up, Freya.
It's just a lot to take in.
No, I know. Hence the drinking. He knows. I didn't imagine that. That was real. He saw me in my dream. And I can't. I'm so sorry for entering yours. If if it was even close to the feeling that I have seeing this, I'm so sorry. And I gotta apologize to Willow too. He pulls out his phone and starts texting Willow apology or I'm so sorry, and just sends it. Yeah, I'm drunk texting. Shut up.
Freya
Just
just shakes her head.
just I'm so sorry on the phone, Willow. That's it. That's the text.
Willow's just like drinking a cup of coffee, gets a text, looks at it like, what the fuck?
I'm so sorry. I
I imagined that James demolishes breakfast.
Oh yeah. Greasy food helps
Um,
you stay sober.
yeah, and you know, a little trauma eating,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Um, Freya, you witness um probably the most heinous crime of all. James shoveling syrup-coated beans into his mouth, and then suddenly, you know, breakfast is done. Um, would you let him drive back alone?
Oh no.
Um,
She would.
I'm not leaving town. I'm not going back to town yet. I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna do some walking. There's a park somewhere in the school probably. I'm just gonna take some time and just catch some air. Okay? Don't worry about me. I'm not gonna drive back drunk.
Are you lying?
No, I'm not Willow. Which means I'm
Um,
good at lying. So yes. No, just joking. No,
oh
I'm
my
not. I'm
God.
not lying. He
It's
is
like
go.
5D chess.
When she kind of exerted kind of like a genuine like fear and like
Yeah.
push back on him driving drunk, he
Hmm.
will definitely kind of take that to count, and then he's going to set the flask out on the table, and it's probably his dad's, but he's also not in the current state to do it. And he says, if you don't want it, just leave it. If you want to hold on to it for me, that's great too. That's fine. Probably shouldn't be near the stuff.
She doesn't take it. She actually glares down. She's like, "You do realize I live on campus. We're not supposed to have this shit with us."
He puts it quickly
And
back into his jacket, looking around paranoid.
and I trust you, but if you fuck this up, it's gonna mean something to me.
All right. Hopefully, I didn't already fuck it up. If you get any messages around the church and stuff, and you're still focused on doing your, um, you know, playing nice and everything, just be on as high alert as you can be, okay? Because if they know I'm talking to you the way I did last night, they're probably going to start asking questions about what we talked about in the waking world. Just stay cautious, okay, Freya?
Rhea just kind of brushes it off, even though she's a little, not a little, she's decently afraid inside. She just laughs and, it's fine. I get it. You want me to be careful, you want me to be safe. I can do that. I'm not some little kid.
I know. I know. He shifts to get out of the booth, and reaching back into the same pocket where the flask was, he pulls out two 20s and sets them on the table. Um, and he'll start moving towards the door, like, without really saying goodbye.
Rhea doesn't stop him. She just kind of watches him and like has her eyes like laser focused on him to see where he goes and make sure that he's not going to his car.
Steps outside, moves away from the door, cigarette out, cool, kind of just, light it and look around. And then he starts heading into like the campus area where yeah, he sees what looks like a park. He starts heading for it.
Freya would get up to leave and she probably has classes soon.
Okay. Okay. Josh. Now that it's morning, a doctor comes in and gives you the go ahead to head out. Um, Luckily, Bucky's does provide health insurance, so you're not stuck with a horrible bill.
I mean, I am still stuck with a horrible bill. You called an ambulance.
You're stuck with a horrible bill, but it could be worse.
That's true. It could be much worse.
The real horror all along was our broken healthcare system.
It saw me in the void and it charged me all the money.
Okay. So you are, free to go. Do you call Marsha?
I imagine as soon as I woke up, Josh texted Marsha before he even talked to a doctor or anyone
Okay.
to make sure that she was on the way. I'm assuming Marsha comes to pick him and Ethel up.
Oh yes, but before I leave the house, I wanna talk to Pastor Young. Like
Okay.
I assume, because I didn't sleep, I would be listening for when everybody else got up, so that I could ask Pastor Young what he thought of the creature.
Oh, the creature. So he explains that at night he called some of the men in the church, and they came and they put the thing in a bonfire and burned it up in an oil drum, and that's someone's property. Marsha, I really wish I could give you a better answer. This, you talked to us about what you witnessed that night over at Ethel's, and it was, it sounded very strange and frightening, but I had no idea that it was like this.
What can we do?
You're kind of like interrupted by Nayeli and the housekeeper, and he motions for Nayeli to stay and instructs the housekeeper to leave and to kind of take to kind of like go like wait in another part of the house while the three of you talk in the kitchen. Marsha, I was talking to Nayeli, and we think that it's time for you to bring you closer into the bosom of the church. There are teachings in scripture that is not followed by unreformed churches. churches that are not like ours, that don't have the full truth of our prophet's revelation. This is not something that we can share equally with all of the congregation according to how the prophet instructed us to do the teaching. There are more things to learn. Nayeli, can you, and Nayeli comes closer and she takes your hand and puts a hand on your shoulder. Oh, Marcia, you have been through a lot. And it seems like the things that are happening to you are in some way tied to the future of the church, the battle between the forces of God and Christ against the devil himself. And for some reason, you and Ethel and certainly Josh as well, you're caught up in it. And we would like to offer for you, Marcia and Ethel, to become initiated into the next order of knowledge, because a lot of what we learn has to do with things like these. Certainly none of us have ever seen something like this in a vision, much less in person. And so it seems, yeah.
While she's talking, can I do read a person?
Oh, yeah.
I have a partial success, but
Mhm.
I have observant where I can also, whenever you read a person, you may choose from these questions in addition to the usual ones, like what sort of person are you? Or is
Okay.
there anything odd about you?
Yeah.
Can I ask, is there anything odd about you?
Yeah. So you notice that it is strange the way that Nayeli is being very like cavalier about one, demons like are a thing that can physically attack you and kill you, and B, there's like a secret society in your church, basically, is what you're hearing. And she seems to be very like matter of fact, and like it's like she's talking about women's book club or about potluck or cookie sale. Like, you're not picking up the terror that you've experienced, that most kind of like people would probably, it's like she's sort of isn't reacting.
I know you said me and Ethel, but Josh too?
Oh, right. Well, and she'll kind of motion to Pastor Young, and the pastor will respond, yes. Well, we're inviting him to our men's group. Um, the prophet instructed that all of our groups should be divided by sex, and so they are. Josh will be offered a deeper understanding as well, but on through our men's program.
Will this teach us how to be safe from these creatures? I don't think they're gonna stop.
Well, I think maybe the pastor again does not look 100% sure of himself in the moment. We are, I mean, this is new to us too. From what we can tell last night, we can use physical force to take those things down, so that worked. If there are more spiritual protections, prayers or rituals, I'm certain that that Minister Culver will teach us what we need to learn. But everything's new right now, Marcia, for us as it is for you. Of course, we have the sacred knowledge that such things could occur, but we hadn't lived it in the flesh until last night.
Okay. And then whenever the conversation's over, she's just gonna go pack all their stuff up and then go pick up Josh.
Okay. You pull up, and Ethel and Josh are probably waiting on like a little bench outside the hospital.
Yeah.
Josh opens the door for Ethel to get into the front seat and like kind of guides her in. And when she gets in, he closes the door, and then like through the open window, you want to keep driving?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you shouldn't drive in your state. I'm sure your arm's in a sling. So I'll drive you home. Let you rest today.
That's mighty kind of you. He opens up like the little back seat door and gets in there.
Once we start driving down the road, I would tell Josh and Ethel the conversation with the Youngs, how they're gonna invite us, but that they don't know particularly what to do against these creatures. Other than that, we can harm them by physical means.
We can harm him by physical means. I got plenty means of doing harm. Been preparing for that for years.
You should be getting an invitation soon to their men's club, and that's where they're going to bring you into their, if you accept, bring you into their inner circle, and you'll learn more about these things, I think.
Well, I appreciate that prior notice.
Yeah, I thought I should just let you know when you get the message what it would all be about, so you're not just like maybe put off by the idea of a men's group.
That's very thoughtful of you, Marcia.
Yeah. And then I would drive us to Ethel's house.
Okay. James, you walk off your buzz. You're sober again. Go ahead and take your stability damage again
Yay!
until you're drunk again. Once you sober up, do you drive home?
Nope. Um, I'm actually gonna try and find a park bench, like in Texas, that doesn't have like hostile, fixtures on it, and just
Hmm.
kind of lay down for a bit.
Okay.
And I'm gonna look back through. Um, and did I get a response from Willow or no?
I think Willow would have said like, uh, no worries for why are you apologizing?
So I wouldn't answer immediately because I was walking. I forgot I
Right.
sent the text. I only remember that I sent it when I was sobered. And I'll say, for entering your dream, I didn't ask permission. I'm sorry.
Let me ask a question.
On the church phone.
Okay.
Sorry, the on the church phone threw me for a second. Um, I would just respond and say like, yeah, it was definitely off-putting, but from what you told me, you were experimenting and like it's cool.
I'd sit with that for a while, and then I'd drive home.
James, you pull up to the bar that's like on the uh lower half of the building, and you immediately notice that the front like big window pane is fully shattered, and there's like black smoke pouring out of uh the the shattered window.
Initial response is like guttural, but I think the depression will set in pretty quickly. The powerlessness, and I'll just get outside the car and watch it.
As the smoke kind of dissipates and your eyesight kind of becomes accustomed to it, kind of like peering through it, you notice that the source of it is like this blackened lump that you can tell, or you can sort of surmise that it was like thrown in through the window,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like crashed onto um like one of the tables.
By the time I'm there, the upstairs is probably in full like flame, right?
It's not fully caught fire.
I'm not gonna do anything to mess with it.
Are you peering in?
No, staying back
Okay.
next to my car. I think again, it's more of a depression moment right now. Like, of course, this is my punishment. Isaiah did see. I don't even think that he'd be like phoning the emergency department. Like he'd just be staring blankly.
Um, the um the woman that owns the bar, the barkeep, pulls up, um, she's getting ready to like, you know, set up for the evening or whatever, and she says, "James, what is going on here?"
I don't know. I don't know. My office is gone, and he just kind of looks down at the ground, like just really just depressed as hell looking. I
Oh, dear Lord, what is wrong with... Oh, never mind. She dials 911, and the fire the fire truck comes. Um, it looks like there's some smoke damage in the bar, but the fire didn't spread too much. One of the firefighters kind of tosses the source of the smoke onto the gravel at y'all's feet.
What is it?
Covered in like sticky black tar and still kind of smoking is your grandfather's typewriter or your father's typewriter.
Yeah.
And
Well,
on that, we'll end tonight's session.
thanks for watching.
Thank you, everybody, for
Wow.
participating and for watching. We'll see you next week.